We need to educate Donald Trump. Here is what Donald Trump said about South Africa's recently adopted Expropriation Act of 2024.
South Africa, the leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
Let's now educate Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the millions who share their reasoning. South Africa's land injustices were etched into law in 1913. It began with the Natives Act of 1913, a law that restricted land ownership and shattered the dreams of millions. This single act confined black South Africans to a mere 7% of the land, forcing them into labor on white-owned farms and mines. Imagine someone storming your house and confining you to a tiny corner in one of your bedrooms. Because of the Natives Act of 1913, families were uprooted, generations were condemned to poverty. The law was designed to secure cheap labor for white industries, ensuring that black South Africans had no choice but to work for their oppressors. The so-called native reserves were overcrowded, impoverished, and deliberately kept that way. This wasn't a law, it was a weapon, and its damage would last for decades. As a matter of fact, the damage caused by the Natives Land Act of 1913 can still be felt today, 112 years later. The Expropriation Act of 2024 seeks to mitigate some, not all, of this damage. It seeks to legally correct the damage of 1913, not replicate it. Under this new law, land can be expropriated without compensation, but only when it serves justice, equity, and the greater public good. This applies in cases where the land sits idle with no plans for development or profit, or when it poses a danger to communities. Trump and Elon's misinformed, patronizing views about this critical belated law can end up poisoning its implementation. The voices of justice, equity, and kindness must not be drowned out. They must constitute the unstoppable force that will drive this process forward. The people deserve justice.